welcome to Flory Models Tuesday vlog. Busy day today. I must admit I've been working on the A10 and it's one of those things where I watch back obviously the footage I recorded on it yesterday and I'm thinking, cool, that post shading looks really strong, and then I look at it and I'm thinking, but it's not that strong. It's one of those things, it's sometimes the camera sees things differently to your naked eye, and I know a lot of the guys who have been here and seen my work as well, they say, well, mostly, it looks so much better in real life and all the rest of it, and how it looks different. The trouble is, because we're under this type of light and it's natural daylight, they're all 6,700 Kelvin or whatever they are, studio daylight LED banks we've got above us. The way the camera sometimes picks up dark spots on grey, it's a bit like when we work with metallizers and natural metal finishes. It's always really difficult for the camera to pick it up. So anyway, so much so, I actually put this in the spray booth this afternoon and have toned it down a bit just so hopefully it looks slightly different. Does it look different on this angle? If you do it sort of this angle, it might be different. But it's just when you look across it, I was looking at it thinking, God, that is really strong on camera. Anyway, so I've done a little bit more shading just to knock it back a little bit. Really happy with how it's coming out now. And then we've gone around and I've done some of the bay work. We've done the gear. We're starting to work on those. So we need to wire them up, and I'm going to go through the motions of actually using lead wire for hoses and hydraulic lines and stuff like that. But actually, we're sort of getting there. The pylons, to say, they're sort of test fitted in there. I'm going to get those done tomorrow. We've already started doing down the bays. We're going to detail those up. We've got all the reference photos and the bits from the book. We're going to do some wiring and we're going to really liven all of those areas up. So there's a few little bits and pieces over this one we've still got to do some walkway markings, got to do those, sort them out. But you might know we got the black thing on the front here and stuff like that. It's just one of those things, it's such a big project, you tend to forget how much you've still got to do. And I must admit, I sat here this morning and I was going through it saying, right, we need to do this, this. The list goes on forever. It's just one of those things. But generally, it will be worth it. She's coming together very rapidly. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get a full day on this one. We can push through quite a lot with it and really start bringing her to life. But I must admit, I'm very happy of how it's coming out. And thank you for all your kind words and feedback. And I've had loads of people mention it as well. So thank you for all of that. Now, today is Tool Tuesday. So you've got two things. You've got Hans in a moment. He's going to be talking to you in a part. And you've got me. Now, there's quite a bit of a thing to this. There's a full review, which I've put up, which will be linked to this video. It'll be in the description, as will Hans's one. And obviously, if you're on Flory Model site, it will be below this video anyway. And this is Plastic Magic glue. Now, I've done a review on it, and to be honest, I've held off doing it now because I've had this glue for the best part of, what, 3 months? Because I've been using it and testing it, and I wanted to get a feel for it. Because all too often, you can review a product, and I get a lot of products, obviously, we do here, especially with Tool Time, and you use it, and you think, oh, that's really good, and then you don't really use it, and it's almost like a damp squid. So I wanted to use this one just to see how it gets on with real world, not just sticking a couple of bits of card together like we do in the review for it, but to actually use it on anger. And we did. We've used it solely on the build for the actual A10, so we haven't used it you know, just on a few bits. We've done everything with it. So every single thing this has been glued together with, that is obviously, you know, a weld action glue, has been with the actual Plastic Magic. And a bit of a spoiler alert for the review. We'll go through the ins and outs of the review. I really like this stuff. I prefer it over Tamiya Extra Thin. I'm not sure why. It just seems to work better with me. Certainly on this trumpeter plastic, it works absolute treat. But in general, I'm just finding it works better. I find that the Tamiya Extra Thin, to be honest, this is one of those things. When you're doing a product which is almost identical, you're trying to find the subtle differences, and it's little things like, obviously the big thing is it's got a slightly longer drying time, and when we say slightly longer, we're talking 30 seconds. But that 30 seconds actually makes quite a big difference when you're using it. The other thing I really like about it, and this is one of those things I think about after I did the review, is the brush. Now, something as stupid as the brush knows you're being nitpicky with a type of review, but this brush tends to just flow glue. The trouble I find with the Extra Thin is, and the reason I have half a pot here, and there's another pot which will be over here somewhere, which will have half a pot in it as well, which is obviously moved now. But if you have too much sort of glue in here, is in a full bottle, what tends to happen is you take it off and it tends to build up at the top, and then you get a big dollop and you end up with too much glue, or there's not enough on the brush. That's the trouble, because the Extra Thin brush is so small that it just doesn't hold enough glue. So I'm always in too much, too little, and you get that sort of Goldilocks zone in the middle where it's fine, and that's why I keep my glue as it is there, half a bottle all the time. So I just keep topping it up to half a level. This one, on the other hand, though, is got a full bottle, and you know, I'm working my way through it, but it doesn't seem to do that. Now, I don't know why. It obviously is just the design, but this brush seems to hold more and deliver the paint better and more evenly. It's not like you touch it and suddenly it explodes and it capillary action everywhere. This tends to hold onto it. It doesn't just dump it clean onto your model and all you go. So again, that's another plus for it that I thought about really after I've done it. But anyway, go off and have a look at the review. It's only about 8-10 minutes long, and you can see about it. And I am fully aware it costs a fortune in certain other countries. The trouble with it is obviously it's a UK thing, it's just out, and at the moment it's filtering its way around the world and everything else. So it tends to be a bit expensive, but give it a few months. Once it's out and readily available, Deluxe Materials, they are sold worldwide through a network of distributors and everything else, and I'm sure that the price will come down. But I know when it's been mentioned on our forum, a lot of the guys on there have said, Jesus, that's like $13-15 for that, where, you know, you say a bottle of Tammy is like $5 or whatever it is. So, but fear not, I'm sure it will come down. It's not a game changer though. Don't think this is a new glue which is like the be all and end all and all the rest of it. If you're happy with extra thin, stick with extra thin. If you've got 20 bottles of extra thin under your table, which I used to, I'm down to about 5 now, but stick with it. Don't just give it up and rush out and buy this, because it by no means is it a game changer. It's just that if you can't get a hold of extra thin, or perhaps if you're going to be up for a renewal soon and you're looking for perhaps try a different type of glue, then have a go with it and just see what you think. You know, let me know how you think. But generally, I must admit, I know it's not new. It's been around. It just gets reinvented every now and again. But I've just really taken to it. It works really well, and it's just the little things which make it flow and work better for me. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, that is up with you today. Loads of you keep asking about this. To be honest, I had every intention of it being up today, but because it's Tool Tuesday, I thought you better get a tool, otherwise I'll get complaints. But I will put up the King Tiger review. I've edited it, it's done, it's even on YouTube now, but I'll put it up with you tomorrow, and that gives you stuff for tomorrow, and there'll be another part of the A10 that will go up with you tomorrow as well. Anyway, the other thing that's gone out today, big thing, is Hans's part 2 of his paint one. So last week's episode, you saw him and he was showing you basics about doing paint, getting a nice finish with it and all the things like that. In part 2 of his little paint tutorial, he's showing you actually using it on anger, he's using it on a tank, and he talks through various things and little tips and tricks. Like the one where he does that extra thin coat at the end is an absolute thing. To be honest, I didn't know about that until he told me about it. So I did it on the flanker when we did the one-day build on that flanker, and it works. It just gives that beautiful finish afterwards. Now, I'm not saying there's right or wrong to that, because I do like a bit of texture, as you know, because when I do my weathering, I like to have a textured multi-texture. So I don't just want it flat all over, I want it patchy. So wash sticks to it in different ways. But definitely, if you're struggling with paint finishes, if you're struggling with paint coats, how it works, how it doesn't, and stuff like that, have a look at Hans. He delivers it in a totally different way to me. You know me, I'm broad strokes and chucking it down. Hans is a lot more controlled and a lot more sort of, focused on his paint finish and everything else like that. So definitely one to have a look at. So anyway, part 2 of that is up with you now. Again, I'll link it down in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Flory Model's site, then obviously it'll be below this one. And then if you're in the forum, it'll be in there as well. Last note on the actual photo bucket thing that everyone's talking about in the forum, about obviously with us hosting images and all the rest of it. It's not a be all and end all. We're not turning this into sort of like a rant. It's just wondering. That's it. And it wouldn't affect your price of subscription. I would absorb it like ever. It's just that, obviously if it's that thing that enough people feel very strongly about it, then it's something we'll perhaps implement into it. To be honest, I'm still waiting to hear back from the devs about an unlimited package and how much that would cost. Because at the moment their maximum package isn't very big, so we'd need more. So I'm trying to work out a price with them and haggle with them a little bit about a price we could do for totally unlimited image hosting and stuff like that. But anyway, we will get back to you on it. As I said, it's no biggie. It was just a question. Just threw it out there to see what you guys think about it. So that is about it from me. So as I said, you've got glue review and you got Hans today, and then tomorrow I'm going to be back with you with another part of the A10. Be the standalone one about how we did the actual mouth, because obviously this is all painted on here, and how we went about doing that with Ron's masks and things like that. And for you guys wondering about Steve and with his one, he'll be up with you at the end of the week with another part of his A10 as he's making through with his one as well. So there's still loads for you to come. And as I say, tomorrow you will definitely get the King Tiger review as well. That'll be up around about midday if you want to see it a little bit earlier. So there we go. That's it from me. Happy modelling. Take care. Catch you all tomorrow.